Commodores. Inside Exact Tech Arena, he's already chomping. Hall of Famer Dick Vitale, Rich Hollenberg here, ready for this SEC opener. And Dick, both of these teams featuring two veteran, talented backcourts.
Well, they rely on the backcourts. Interior game really suspect. I really think the key guy, Kayvon Allen's got to have a big game. He hasn't been the super that they expected. I'll tell you that, if they're going to end that 5-game losing streak that Mike White has against Vandy, he's never beaten Vandy in his 2 years. He wants that W today, baby.
Well, as you mentioned, Dick, you go back to 3 straight games last year that they played against Vanderbilt, all extremely close games, 2 two-point contests in the regular season, and then 1 overtime game in the SEC tournament last year. All went the Commodores' way, so a little bit of a chip on the collective shoulders of these Florida Gators as they host the doors to open SEC play this season.
Playing really short, too, in terms of size on the interior. A lot of the bigs are really out.
It is going to be a guard-dominated game. We'll have more on that in just a second. Florida controls the opening tip. Your officials, Tony Green, Tony Henderson, and Vlad Voyard-Tadal. Here's Keith Stone. The skip pass to the point guard, Chiozza. Chiozza starting along with Kayvon Allen, who you talked about moments ago. Igor Kulichov, a grad student, who is also a very important player, can knock down the 3. And Vanderbilt takes over their first offensive possession. Saban Lee is a freshman starting for Bryce Drew.
He's a very quick player, Lee. Explosive. His father was explosive. Running back for the Florida State Seminoles, amply. Good ball movement. Vanderbilt looking for their first signature win. They've beaten 5 basic cupcakes. They haven't beaten a really quality team yet this year.
With 6 on the shot clock, Matthew Fisher-Davis first shot off the mark. Here comes Chiozza. Both teams like to push pace as well, Dick.
Chiozza's had a great year this year. He's been the one bright light.
Stone misses but gets the miss, and a fresh shot clock for the Gators.
Mike White told us to want to establish a little bit more, get Stone a little involved, and get Hayes, because they've been extremely just exterior dominated.
Here's Allen, preseason second team All-SEC, and he gets off to a good start.
Well, they need him to drive the basketball. He's been shooting too many perimeter shots. They want him to be aggressive offensively and attack off the bounce. Straight line drives.
Had 29 against this Vanderbilt team last January. Here's the freshman Lee. And a traveling violation called on the Commodores. Mike White, in his 3rd season in Gainesville, 7th overall as a head coach, made the Elite 8 last year where they lost to fellow SEC foes South Carolina, but a terrific 27-9 year, including 14-4 in SEC play 1 year ago.
He was the perfect hire to replace the great Billy Donovan, who was unbelievable here coaching when he was with the Gators.
Mike White and the team been hamstrung by injuries as Igor Kulichov, they call him 3-Gore here in Gainesville.
You know, Kulishov makes that big 3, but that was created by the good ball fake, which created space for him to square his body. He was a big-time shooter before coming here at Rice.
The hammer pass off the hands of Kulichov and out of bounds. Vanderbilt's head coach, Bryce Drew, his 2nd season in Nashville, 7th overall as a head coach. 5 top 25 wins last year, and really their tough schedule, their strength of schedule is what allowed them to make an NCAA tournament appearance last year.
Well, last year they got in with the most L's of anyone. 15 losses was the first that's ever happened, and it was the strength of schedule that really carried them big time.
That shot was blocked. Good defense by the Gators, and that's something that Mike White has been adamant needs to improve at UF.
Yeah, he told us, he said, we are not playing good, tough defense.
Kulichov the drive, no whistle. The refs say play on. It's going to be Vanderbilt basketball.
You know, Bryce told me before the game, he said, our real run for the NCAA tournament started with a big victory here at Florida. And he said the guy that made that happen is now in the G League with the Knicks, Cornette. Cornette really got them rolling. They missed that size on the interior.
3 minutes gone by. Vanderbilt has yet to get in the scoring column. Here's senior Riley LaChance. Nice shot fake, gets it out with 7 on the shot clock. Toy short on the 3.
Good job by Florida to make him kick that ball out after the dribble penetration. He carried the ball. Tony Green with the call. Mike White's done a heck of a job here. Not easy to replace a legend like Billy Donovan. And he came in, he identified his own strengths and weaknesses, and he's really been outstanding. Outstanding. Represents the school with class. I wouldn't expect anything other because I know his mom and dad really well. AD at Duke, his mom, Jane.
And of course, Florida had that terrific game against Duke where they had a lead for a large portion of that game at the PK 80, only to end up losing by 3.
You know what's amazing? They were up 17. Had they won that game, they were 5th in the nation. Had they won that game, they would have been #1 in America. The month of November, they averaged over 99 points a game, led the nation in scoring. December, averaging about 67 a game.
Good hands by Allen. And the foul is called, a good foul by Vanderbilt because Allen had a clear path to the basket.
We got a little shutout going out here. We got a little shutout going on. We got Mr. Kershaw pitching a shutout, baby. And don't get me started with baseball. I want to talk about the Rays today. I know you work with the Rays. Don't get me started.
I'm not going to get you started on that, but we're in the home of the NCAA champion Florida Gators. Also, keep that in mind, right?
Champs also in women's tennis. Do a great job. Got a great coach. He was down there looking at my little granddaughter, Ava.
Allen off on the 3, the offensive rebound to Hayes. And Kavarius Hayes really provides the only size on this Gators roster right now.
Chioza made one of the greatest shots in the history of Gator basketball when he beat Wisconsin. I believe it was at Madison Square Garden.
It was. Yeah. Sweet 16, overtime game.
What a memory that is. Nice pass.
Nice look inside, and Hayes has it.
Great look. Good two-man game right there. Chioza, great eyes, vision. He's a tough kid. Street tough.
First 5 possessions of the game for the Commodores. 0 for the field and 2 turnovers. Make it 0 for 4, and Vanderbilt still getting skunked by the Gators. 7-0 with 15.5 to go.
Watch this look right here. Chioza, wow, he dishes that rock, baby. Great play.
Florida Gators off to a great start. 7-zip over Vanderbilt in their SEC opener with 15.5 to go from the O'Connell Center in Exact Arena. But buckle your seatbelt, Dickie V, because it's been quite the roller coaster ride for Mike White and the Gators. They won their first 5 games, only to lose back-to-back games in tough fashion at the PK 80. Then they dropped another one to Florida State, Loyola Chicago. It's been up and down for the Gators coming in at 8-4 right now.
Yeah, it really has. I don't like those roller coasters. My stomach can't handle it, baby. It can't handle it, but I'll tell you this, as a coach, he can't handle it. Take a look right here. Unbelievable. Look at the score in the first 5 games. The next 5, he said we shot the lights out and we got away from playing good defense. We relied strictly on offensive efficiency. We got to get back playing some defense, and they're doing that here this afternoon. Vandy's 0 for 4 shooting the 3 thus far.
And I'm sure as a former coach, you can appreciate this. Mike White earlier this week said he shot a lot of bullets already with this team, meaning he's tried just about every type of motivation. He's yelled at them, he's encouraged them, he's loved them hard, he's coached them hard. He just needs them to play hard on the defensive end.
They really got to get some of their bigs to be active. They got to get certainly the kid Ibuno back. They think they're going to have him back possibly in a mid-January, end of January. He's got a touchdown right now. They're getting beat by a touchdown. Wait. You know Dan Mullen, the new football coach? I said, what you think of me, the new football coach? So I haven't met him yet. We got Ole Miss. We got a Rebel out there. We got a guy coming from Bulldog country, Mississippi State. They better hook up. Come on, Dan, you got to meet the basketball coach.
Of course, Dan Mullen has a history here at Gainesville as a coordinator under Urban Meyer, and hopefully turning the tide for the Gator football program.
He's probably saying, I'd meet him if he was a quarterback. I'm chasing players now. I'm not worried about meeting coaches.
That's right.
I'm chasing players.
He's hot on the recruiting trail already. 9-0, Florida with the lead, 15:07 to go. Mike White has to be happy with the way his Gators have started on both ends of the floor.
You know, Vanderbilt had a 13-zip lead when they played Arizona State and they lost that game.
Swallowed up by Hayes.
Good defensive play by Hayes. Boy, Chioza puts pressure on the defense the way he runs the ball up the court.
That's going to be Florida basketball. On New Year's Day at 12:30 Eastern, we were having our college football chat just now about Dan Mullen. How about the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl? Undefeated 12th-ranked UCF taking on number 7 Auburn. Scott Frost coaching his final game for the Knights before going back home of sorts to Nebraska and coach the Cornhuskers.
Home sweet home, baby, whatever they call it. It's tough to say no.
And a foul on the floor. That's going to be on LaChance. And Keith Stone getting a lot of early touches, something Mike White said they were going to be very cognizant of.
You know, you mentioned LaChance. LaChance got to make some threes, and they need some help also. Fisher Davis. Those guys are veteran players. They got to step up and set the tone for Vanderbilt.
Those two players, the second and third active leading scorers in the Southeastern Conference. Stone working against Roberson. Good defense by the Doors.
Yeah, Vanderbilt played that really tough.
Chioza missed the 3. And the rebound to Batiste.
Vanderbilt really playing small ball. They just lack size big time. Trying to rely on a little more quickness.
Fisher Davis with the left hand. And it falls off the rim, no whistle.
Frustration right now, building up there. Can't get on the board.
Now Stone tries for 3. He barely missed those shots in practice.
No difference, practice again, challenge in the game. Good spacing, both clubs well coached. It's down to personnel.
10 on the shot clock.
Tell you one thing, Mike White's got them playing good team defense now, something that's been lacking. He's got them really playing good defense. He told us that was a priority before the game.
Now Kulichov, number 4 in white, was set to check back in as Keith Stone goes to the bench. 13:33 to go, 9-0 Florida with the lead in the SEC conference opener for both clubs.
You know, 9-0 sounds really big margin. Now, when you're able to shoot the threes like Vanderbilt can, you can get back quickly.
There's Kulichov working his way into the low post. Swings it over to Chioza. And DeAndre Ballard gets the offensive board. Kulichov underneath. Here's Lee, nice pass inside, and the first bucket of the game scored for Vanderbilt. Thank you, Mark. We're in Gainesville, Florida. The Florida Gators out to an early 9-2 lead. It took just about 7+ minutes, but the Vanderbilt Commodores, Dick Vitale, are finally on the board.
Well, they finally got on the board. A nice look to the interior.
Saban Lee whistled for the foul as he pushed Kayvon Allen out of bounds. A couple of veteran backcourts, very talented backcourts, but two teams, Dick, that have really had an up-and-down season so far in the non-conference.
Up and down, both clubs lack interior presence, don't have any post presence, any kind of offense down in the low boxes. They rely basically on the three-point shot. If they're shooting well, good things happen. The Gators led the nation in scoring in the month of November. And then December, they went from 99 a game to December to 67 a game.
Neither team shooting all that well. Gators 3 for 12 from the field. Commodores just 1 for 7. Defense ruling the day so far. Well, Dick, here's a little bit of the offense that we've seen so far.
Nice look without the ball. Chioza, great look to the interior. You're gonna see here, that's the first deuce, that's the first basket. It was 9-7. They were getting nervous on that Vandy bunch. Said, wow, we're gonna get shut out?
It's a Vanderbilt team that came off a win against Alcorn State. They hit 17 threes.
Now, nothing to take anything away from Alcorn State, but that's not Florida Gators defense.
Here's Toy. Wild shot, no good. Kulichov the rebound.
Toy with the drive. He's an explosive driver, a good slasher. Wide open. Oh, you got to make that layup. You got to lay down on glass. He tried to hit the little floater. Should have laid that right on the glass.
Here's Lee. And there he shows his quickness. The freshman Saban Lee gets on the board with a chance at a three-point play, but it's the Gators up by 5 early with 11:31 to go. SEC opener for both clubs. The Florida Gators with a 9-4 lead over Vanderbilt, 11:31 to go inside Exactech Arena at the Stephen O'Connell Center. He's already doing the Gator chop here. Hall of Famer Dick Vitale, I'm Rich Hollenberg. And Dick, the SEC, a much improved league basketball-wise this year.
Well, what about the great game today? Arkansas with that comeback win over Tennessee, a good Tennessee team. Barford and Macon were sensational. Had 61 points between them, dominated the overtime. Mike Anderson has a quality club, and so does Rick Barnes.
And I know you were really impressed with Kentucky's win over Louisville yesterday.
Are you kidding me? They put on an absolute humiliation. They humiliated Louisville, dominated, utilized their great athleticism, their length, their size. It was, as John Clay, the reporter, wrote, it was a gem, G-E-M. And credit that to the unbelievable motivational ability of John Calipari. He told them, you guys think of the NBA, you better start thinking of the YMCA. After they played against UCLA, they were a different team, and that's coaching.
Saban Lee completes the three-point play. Coming up after us on ESPN2, you'll see Alabama hosting number 5 Texas A&M. One of the reasons that everyone's so high on the SEC this year. It's not just Kentucky and everybody else.
Florida, South Carolina was certainly very good last year. Good defense right there by the Gators. Playing better defense today.
Well, defense leading to offense for Florida.
Yeah, the defensive block creating the transition game. It's one of the ways you can get out in transition, and then they use the speed and quickness of Chioza to put pressure on the defense. I mean, if you can't love conference play, it's an exciting time. See what North Carolina started with a win today over Wake Forest. Talked about that Arkansas scintillating win over Tennessee. Virginia wins by 1 over Boston College. The cupcakes are tucked away, man. The Hostess cupcakes. Everybody ate them for Christmas, put them away. It's time to play real basketball.
Well, just before us, you saw Oklahoma and Trae Young seal the Sooners win on the road with a pair of free throws to take down TCU.
The best guard in America. I don't care freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Trae Young is the best. Now we only have 2 unbeaten teams in college basketball. TCU suffered their first L.
Fisher Davis, strong drive, bounces off. Ball goes out of bounds, it'll stay Vanderbilt basketball.
You know, everybody's talking about it, you, myself, all of us, how much the SEC has really improved. Remember this, you still got to go through Lexington, Kentucky.
And one way that the Gators will contend in the SEC is with this young man, healthy and active as he has been for the majority of the non-conference season. But Jalen Hudson, number 3 in white, did not practice this week, suffering from flu-like symptoms. He is a go, and he's seeing his first action right now.
Well, he's a very versatile scorer. He scores in a variety of ways. Drive, jump shot, scored when he was at Virginia Tech.
Nice look inside, and it's swallowed up by Hayes.
Good defensive play by Hayes.
Chioza with the step through.
What a terrific move by Chioza. He's having an incredible year, an all-SEC kind of year. Florida's got a nice bounce to their step on defense.
Blocked again.
Trying to attack inside. Defense doing a great job, Florida. Blocking shots, creating offense off the block shot.
Chioza had it knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Vanderbilt basketball. Well, Dick, for a team that's thin on the front line, they certainly are swatting it away on the defensive end.
Yeah, doing a great job defensively. That's leading to offense. Watch this move by Chioza. He splits the defense, steps through. Just a terrific drive by the young guy.
The game winner in the Sweet 16 a year ago. The most dramatic shot in Florida history. Chris Chioza will be remembered in Gainesville for a lifetime.
Vanderbilt getting some good ball movement. swinging side to side, but I get nothing on the inside. Everything's right here.
LaChance, one of the best pure shooters in the country, knocks down his first bucket of the game.
Well, that's his strength, be able to make that perimeter shot. Bryce Drew doing what any quality coach would do. Go to your strength. Our strength is shooting threes. We need ball movement, player movement, and get the open three.
Young man shot 48.6% from beyond the arc last year.
A lot of guys can't do that in practice.
Kayvon Allen answers with a three of his own.
There's been a lot of projections before the season talking about him as an All-American. He has not played to that level.
And foul on the floor. Well, on New Year's Day, ESPN, of course, has the college football playoff semifinals at 5. It's number 2 Oklahoma and 3rd-ranked Georgia in the Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual, followed by number 1 Clemson and 4th-ranked Alabama in the All-State Sugar Bowl. So, of course, I'm sitting with the Hall of Famer. I have to ask you, look inside the VBDI and tell me exactly what you're picking for those 2 games.
Well, you know, I'm just a football fan like anyone else. I'm going to see Notre Dame play LSU. But I'm just a fan, I'm not an expert. But I think you're going to see an SEC championship. Alabama and Georgia.
Take it to the bank. Dickie V on the record. And with 5 on the shot clock, that shot was partially blocked.
They're trying to challenge him off the dribble, and they're not getting anywhere with it.
Allen, heat check, got it.
He's feeling it today. I told you at the top of the show, for them to win, Kayvon Allen has to have a big game. And he certainly demonstrated that. Hey, the students aren't here, but the place is still packed. They're not the Roddy Reptiles, but they're having fun.
Allen, 3 for 4 from the field, leading all scorers with 8 points. He's off to a great start.
Yeah, he really has come out to score here today, doing it many different ways, showing the free ball right there. Right here, a little one-on-one being challenged. That's a tough shot he made there, a little step-back jumper.
Kayvon Allen had 29 points, 10 for 19 from the field last January when these 2 teams met. But again, it bears mentioning, Vanderbilt has had the Gators' number over the last couple of seasons. As a matter of fact, Mike White has yet to beat a Vanderbilt team in his now 3 seasons in Gainesville. 0 for 5 are the Gators against the Doors.
Well, last year really cost them a chance for the league title, and they were all close games. All 3 losses were really right to the wire.
Here's Roberson, leading scorer for Vanderbilt, has yet to get in the scoring column.
Tell you what, Florida does a good job defensively blocking shots.
Double teamed in the corner. Hayes lost it. It'll stay Florida basketball. 19 seconds on the shot clock.
Really not much rhythm offensively in either club. Florida did come out with some zeal on the defensive end. If you want to be a winning team, that's got to be a constant.
Here's Allen. He's on fire.
That's the player they thought they were going to see all year. A veteran player. Had some big moments last year, tournament competition.
35 against Wisconsin in that Sweet 16 win. And there's the first points of the game from Jeff Roberson, who leads this Vanderbilt club with 14.4 a game coming in.
He's a double-double guy, one of the best in the SEC. He's the heart and soul of the Vanderbilt team. They got to get him going if they're going to get out of here with a W.
6 double-doubles on the season for Roberson. Chioza. The little man showing some muscle.
He's amazing with that body to be able to get in, seal the defense off. He's made 2 magnificent drives. You play the game of horse, you wouldn't try to match those 2.
And LaChance threw it out of bounds. 4th turnover for Vanderbilt.
Take a look at Kayvon Allen right here. Kayvon. There's Kayvon with the step back. Nothing but nylon, baby. NBN.
Came into this season just the 9th Florida Gator to score 900 or more points in his first 2 seasons. The junior out of Little Rock, Arkansas, leading all scorers with 10 so far today.
Trying a little isolation with Chioza and then have him penetrate and kick the ball out. Looking for an open shooter.
10 on the shot clock. Stone, straight line drive with the left hand.
Nice drive right to the basket. You're right, Rich. Straight line, aggressive move. Gators playing really aggressive basketball this afternoon.
Now you see why they were ranked as high as 5th in the country earlier this year. Roberson tries it again, short this time. Stone the rebound.
It's getting a little bit danger time here for Vandy. They better stay in front of Chioza.
Florida's hit their last 6 field goals, Dick. What's impressed you so much so far about Florida Gators?
Well, their defense. What's impressed me is the way they're playing team defense. They're really getting after it as a team. Oh, you got fouled
on the 3.
You got fouled.
And number 3, Jalen Hudson, will go to the line to try to attempt a 4-point play.
Nothing going right for Vandy right now. Yeah, really. He got hit, no doubt about it. Jalen Hudson, he giving a lot of points on the board. And he scores. What I like, he's multi-talented.
Averaging 18 plus a game coming in. That's good for 4th in the SEC. Completes the 4-point play. And Dick, in that monumental game at the PK80 where they won in double OT against Gonzaga, Jalen Hudson at 35.
Yeah, he's had some great moments thus far. He's one of my Marco Polo guys. Cooler Shuff as well, transfer. He came from Virginia Tech. Florida really living off that transfer.
Willis lines it up and knocks it down. Peyton Willis, his first bucket of the game comes from beyond the arc.
They live with the 3-ball. They have no other choice. So limited on the inside. They got some great recruits coming in next year. Vandy might have the best recruiting class they've had, maybe ever.
Stone from the elbow, no good. Yeah, you mentioned the recruiting class next year. Point guard Darius Garland, Simi Chatou, Aaron Neesmith. Those are the 3 names you're going to hear a lot about starting next year.
Well, they're also in a hunt for the great player out of Indiana, Langford, who everybody raves about. It's Indiana, Kansas, and Vanderbilt. Garland is a terrific point guard. I had a coach tell me the other day, he is legit. His father was outstanding in the NBA.
With 3 to shoot. Another 3 from Willis. That's back-to-back triples.
Well, Willis coming off the bench, giving him some positive minutes right here. And the 3-ball can really get you back quickly.
It's an equalizer. Last year, Bryce Drew's Vanderbilt Commodores led the conference in 3-point percentage. This year, though, they're second to last, only 32% coming in.
Well, now he rotated to the zone. He's playing man-to-man, now back to zoning. Go 2-3 zone. Don't have much length and athleticism and size.
Here's Hudson. Again.
Got to get you out of the zone quickly. I thought Hudson's sick. I thought he's not feeling well. I thought he's got a flu. He looks all right to me.
Maybe he's sick, like that's what the kids say. You know, you're sick. Like meaning you're really good. He's been really good so far. Evans off the mark on that 3 and a whistle underneath. Jalen Hudson coming off the bench and heating up in a flash with a couple of 3-pointers.
Well, here's Jalen Hudson right now. Squares up really well, knocks it down.
Chris Cotter down, cuff Seth Greenberg. Land Rover halftime report coming your way in a bit. Wait till you see what Trae Young did today. I know, you can hardly believe he could do any more than he's done already, but he had a sensational game for Oklahoma. In conference play getting started, Arkansas with a big win today at home against Tennessee.
Arkansas down 8 with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. They find a way to battle back at home. Tough senior guards that you love.
Senior guards, 71 points from their senior guards, only 5 turnovers. It's like a security blanket. It's like Linus and his security blanket. Dickie V, do you have a security blanket?
All right, Chris, back in Gainesville, Florida, the SEC opener for the Gators and the Commodores, and it's been all Florida from the jump. 32-17. Kayvon Allen leading the way with 10 points, but his backcourt mate Jalen Hudson has come off the bench to chip in with 7. And right now the defense, Dick, has really been spurring on this Gators offense, something that Mike White told us coming into this game they really needed to check themselves on. Their defensive intensity, we're seeing a lot of that right now.
Well, the first 2 years as a coach here, he's had his club play solid team defense. They're right up there defensive efficiency, top 10 in the country. This year, it's been a suffering scenario, relying on their offense.
Vanderbilt slowly starting to shoot a little bit better than at the start of the game. And Peyton Willis has been a big part of that. He misses that deep 3.
He shot that from Tallahassee.
Here's Hudson, catching fire, not this time. And Dante Bissett, seldom used freshman with the rebound. Blocked from behind, Chioza hits the deck.
Nice defensive effort by Vanderbilt.
Yes, the jumper is good from Cleavon Brown, who has 5.
Yeah, Brown with the big 3. I think they got a bunch of guys that can shoot that 3. They're going to drive some teams crazy when they have one of those hot nights and that 3 ball is falling. And they're zoning right now. Trying to take away that drive and penetration ability of Chioza with the zone. And nobody can stay in front of him.
Here's Akaru, steps into a 3, no good. And the rebound to Vanderbilt. Lost out of bounds by Larry Austin Jr. Tuesday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Number 22, Texas Tech, taking on the 11th ranked Kansas Jayhawks at Allen Fieldhouse. A place the Jayhawks have never lost to the Red Raiders since the creation of the Big 12 back in 1997. That's part of Super Tuesday, presented by Boost Mobile. The Red Raiders, top 25 team, got a win on the road at Oklahoma State, and Kansas last night with a big win in Austin to open Big 12 play.
Hey, one thing, the big question is, will Kansas get the 14th year in a row winning the conference? I would break the record of John Wooden. They're tied right now with the Wizard of Westwood.
Kulichov from inside the painted area.
Where would they be without these transfers? Think about it. Daniel Hudson and Kulichov. What a blessing getting those guys.
And of course, the Gator Nation hoping that another transfer from a couple of years ago, John Igbunu, their big man, is able to recover fully from that ACL surgery that he had last January. He's due back at the end of this month.
He gives them a great deal of physicality, strength, power, something they're lacking.
Shot clock winding down, and another defensive stand by the Gators.
Gators have been really playing great team defense, communicating.
Catching fire from Kulichov.
Igor, man, making shots.
6 3-pointers, Dick, already from the Gators.
You know, Gators came out here with purpose today. They've been up and down like many of my stocks. Stock market's going high, but mine are up and down. You can just feel the intensity in league action.
Good hands by Allen getting the steal.
See, it becomes contagious. One guy plays good defense, the next guy, before you know, the whole team.
That was from beyond NBA range from Kulichov. And look at Cleavon Brown on the leak out. A one-man fast break and a foul before the shot. Largest lead of the game for the Gators, 17, as they look to snap a 5-game losing streak against the Vanderbilt Commodores.
What a start to the season they had this year. In the month of November, I mean, 17 up on Duke, playing great, lost that game, beat Gonzaga, just a terrific start. And then they went through that little slide. Lost to Loyola Chicago here. Loyola Chicago, when they left here, they were 9-1. So it wasn't just a, you know, losing to a cupcake. That team came here, played a great game, and got out of here with a W.
And then a real gut check win as the Gators go to Cincinnati and beat the Bearcats 66-60.
Yeah, that was a quality win. They needed that psychologically. Mick Cronin's got a good basketball team, and that was a good win on the road.
9-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. 10 to shoot for the Commodores. Here's Toy. Offensive foul. Kulichov gets the charge call.
Kulichov did a great job rotating over to beat the driver to the basket. Watch him rotate over. There he is right now. Takes the contact. It's one of those calls go either way. I thought he leaned in with the shoulder.
Well, it bears mentioning a call like that with under 2 minutes to go, especially the officials today, and all officials from here on out in SEC play are going to have the collaborative efforts of the home office back in Birmingham, Alabama, who will help review calls when the officials on the court go to the scorer's table.
But
that wasn't a reviewable call at that point, but they can use the officials who will be using all of our camera views going forward as Chiozza hits the three.
Chiozza with the big three, but the bottom line in that whole scenario, the officials call here would count.
Chris Chiozza hits the 7th three-pointer of the day for Florida, an 8-0 run to end the half. They're up big, 40-20 on the Commodores. Now we send you back to the studio for the halftime report.
Thank you, Rich. Dickie V, Land Rover halftime report. Cotter, Cuff, and the coach. Let's talk about Florida State and Duke. Earlier today, Cameron, this one was close, but Marvin Bagley was unbelievable in this game. The slam, the points in the paint, he had 32 and 21 down.
They had 56 points in the paint. That's insane. Florida State, long, athletic squad, but they dominated in that paint area.
And then Trayvon Duvall was also very good. He had 16 points, tying this game, though, at 93, so it was really close. Wendell Carter down low, great pass from Duvall, and then Duvall gets a tough layup at the end.
Yeah, Duvall makes this play, but this game was won on the defensive end. They've been ooked. They added the D. They're Duke again. They shut out Florida State the last 4 minutes of this game.
Scored the last 7 points. It was tied at 93. Undefeated TCU hosting Oklahoma. Just over a minute to play. Trae Young, unbelievable.
That is so hard.
That's such a hard chase. He's got every layup humanly possible.
And then Cameron McGusty. Is it at McDonald's or McDowell's? It doesn't matter. He was draining threes on the day. TCU trailing by 1. You see where I went with that one?
Pretty good.
Kenrich Williams was also very good. Again, the lead back to TCU after a couple of Trae Young free throws, though. What's with this shot?
Yeah, that was a contested shot, but you saw that he was in that gap. You would like to see maybe middle penetration to force help and then kick it out.
Trae Young and Oklahoma celebrate. Young had 39 points on the day, 14 assists. He was unbelievable.
He had my career.
Just when you think you've seen it all from him, he gives you something else, and TCU goes down for the first time this whole year.
You always wonder how people are going to respond in conference play when the lights are getting brighter and our attention gets brighter. He keeps setting the bar and then just keeps going over it. This was amazing. He only had 1 point 10 minutes into the second half. They were struggling. They were down 13 as a team, and he just took over again. He started making threes, getting guys involved. They started getting some stops, and it just didn't stop.
I'll tell you, as a coach, when you have a guy like that can not only make shots, get in the lane, make plays for other people, he exudes confidence. And once he gets on a roll, he starts getting downhill, starts getting to the rim, starts kicking it out. Everyone else steps up, whether it's James, or whether it's McGusty, whether it's Knies.
Yeah.
The guy just empowers everyone around him.
That was a veteran TCU team on their floor, and they found a way to take that game over. That was really impressive.
You know, you asked me they were down 10. What's the coach thinking? Get the ball to Trae Young. Trae,
And he's
go
a
make a
freshman.
play, dude.
And he's a freshman on the road. And as you could see from that highlight, too, he was hearing it from the crowd there at Fort Worth. Didn't rattle him
I didn't
at all.
like the way he reacted. Hey, Baker Mayfield had that at Kansas. Let's just play. Keep playing, dude.
Don't forget, you can see that game, or you could have seen it. You can see all of our games on ESPN and on ABC on the ESPN app. Just download it to your mobile device. You can carry it with you anywhere and everywhere you go, right there in the palm of your hand. When we come back, more close finishes, including one in the Big East, maybe a little unexpected, and another one in the ACC. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the Land Rover Halftime Report.
Just some highlights. Let's go to Hinkle. Butler hosting the #1 team in the country, Villanova. Dante DiVincenzo with the steal. He's going to eventually get it back, and he's going to drain a three, Coach.
Dante DiVincenzo, the 6th starter for Villanova Wildcats. Unfortunately, they can only play 7 guys. Very thin bench.
And unfortunately, they couldn't stop Kamar Baldwin from hitting threes. He has 3 in the first half, including this one. Butler is right now up 8 points over Villanova. Paul Jorgensen is going to add to the onslaught. That's a bomb right there. They had 10 in the first half.
Jorgensen, Don Bosco Preps minus. What was that from 30 feet?
It was a bomb.
Play. Kamar Baldwin is really good.
He's really good.
So is Theo Pinson. Look at this putback here.
That's
Durrell Moore.
Moore, but right here, Theo Pinson dropping the dime, but staying in the play.
Nice play that time, finding Luke May, and then at the end of the game, Joel Berry, tie game, hits the game winner with under 10 seconds to go. Of course, it's going to be Berry. Keyshawn Woods with an attempt here, but North Carolina gets the win at home. Good hard-fought win. DePaul and Xavier. Eli Kane is going to find Max Struss. This guy was raining threes all game long. DePaul down just one late in the going, but J.P. Mikura.
This is the problem. Turnovers. They had 23 turnovers in the game, 14 in the second half. Nice finish by Goodwin, too.
You got to give J.P. Mikura some credit for forcing those turnovers, too. He's just a pain in the neck, isn't he, Coach?
Hey, J.P. Mikura, if he plays for you, you love him. If he plays for the other team, you absolutely despise him.
Ain't that the truth?
Obviously, the folks up in Chicago despise him because Xavier gets another close win, but they get the win. Arkansas, Tennessee, speaking of close, over a minute to go in overtime. Daryl Macon hits a three-pointer. Arkansas up 8, but under 20 seconds to go, down. Tennessee would not go away. Here's Lamonte Turner with the three, and then he hits another one.
They're one of the toughest teams in America. They were up 8 with under 4 minutes to go. Arkansas made a run at them. Back came the Volunteers, though.
Falls down just 2.
You know what Linus had? He had a blanket. You know what Mike Anderson has? Senior guard. Senior guards accounted for 71 points for Arkansas.
Macon had 33 himself. They get a nice win at home against Tennessee, who gave them all they could handle. Jerome Robinson nails this three-pointer for Boston College. Down just a point against Virginia. Kai Bowman, though, he's going to drive, and Isaiah Wilkins, great defensive play.
Isaiah Wilkins, he is the heart and soul of this Virginia basketball team. He represents everything that Tony Bennett wants in his program.
Okay, so Virginia wins it on that play, right? Wrong. Look at the clock on the lower right. It never starts, so Boston College gets another shot. Are you kidding me on this? If you're a coach on this, you lose your mind, don't you?
A lot of body experience.
Yeah, you would lose your hair, but you've already lost it all. So Boston College gets another shot, but Nick Popovich called for the offensive foul, and Virginia and Coach Bennett hang on for the win.
This halftime report is presented by Land Rover, above and beyond.
You're watching the SEC on ESPN, and from Gainesville, Florida, the SEC opener for the Gators and the Vanderbilt Commodores. It's been all home team. Florida leads it 40-20 at the start of the second half, and this is a much different outcome so far than the previous 3 times these two teams met last year. A couple of 2-point losses for the Gators, followed by a 10-point overtime loss. They have lost 5 straight to this Vanderbilt team, but all of a sudden, Dick Vitale, they find themselves up 20 on their home court in today's game, and 3-pointers are a big reason why.
Well, 3-pointers are also defense, but they're stroking that 3. Elbow tucked in, rotation, follow through, and it's been all Gator chop time. This square, look, created space with a little ball fake. There he is right now. Variety guys, too. You got Hudson, you got Kuleshov, you got Vaughn, Allen, Davon Allen, you got Hudson. Everybody's chipping in. They made 7 big threes, but really the key has been their team defense. They have excelled. Only giving up 20 points. You give up 20 points in a half, you got a great chance, an opportunity to win.
That's the second lowest scoring half of the season for these Vanderbilt Commodores, topped only by the 17 they were able to muster against an always terrific Virginia defense earlier this year.
Virginia had a tough game today, but they won by 1 over Boston College, an improved BC team. Vanderbilt's got to make a real spurt here in a run to get back in this game at the 10-minute mark.
Well, good news is Vanderbilt does live by the 3. Sometimes they die by it, but they live by it, and that could get you back into games like this.
You know, they struggled early in the season. They played a really tough pre-conference schedule.
Roberson, strong drive with the left hand. Back-to-back buckets to start for the Doors.
Back-to-back baskets, and both dribble, penetration, attacking the rim, rather than just looking for the exclusive jump shot.
Both teams coming in, winners of 2 straight, but both have had up and down seasons in the non-conference.
Well, Vanderbilt's still looking, as I said earlier, for that real quality win.
Step through big-to-big passing, and Hayes had it knocked out of his hands and got fouled.
If you're Vandy, you don't want to panic now and take a lot of bad shots looking for the 3, trying to get back quickly. If they can get it down to within 10 with about 10 minutes to go, and then it becomes a little interesting.
Various Hayes will step to the line, shooting through really the only big man with any experience coming into this season. A lot of injuries for these Gators. They could look like a very different team, literally and figuratively, come the end of this month with the addition of players like Chase Johnson, who you see in the middle, John Igbunu on the left, and of course, a freshman sensation, Isaiah Stokes. These guys look like they could play for the Florida Gators football team.
Hey, I'm going to tell you one thing. As he makes both free throws, the kid Johnson, Kevin Brockway, who I really respect, Hollis Gator Sports big-time writer down here, he told me in the pre-season workouts, Johnson was the best-looking freshman they had, and he said he reminded him so much of Chandler Parsons.
That's a great comparison.
That's saying quite a bit.
Chandler Parsons, of course, flying his wares in the NBA, as so many Gators are. And, of course, the Vanderbilt Commodores have had their share of NBA players through the years. Kevin Stallings spending so much time at the reins, and now Bryce Drew in his second season led them to the NCAAs last year. He's going to have a tough road getting them back there this season in a very tough Southeastern Conference.
Conference has no real cupcakes. Every game's going to be a battle. When you go to roll to Auburn, Alabama, certainly Arkansas.
Matthew Fisher-Davis, his first 2 of the game, second leading scorer on this team with 12 a game, has his first 2.
Well, you know, Fisher-Davis and certainly Roberson have to give them point production for them to have a chance to win.
And Keith Stone slipped and is called for the traveling violation. We talked about the tough road to hoe for Bryce Drew and company. They're 0-6 this year against top 100 teams, and they have a slew of them coming up on their schedule because the SEC is so deep.
But that back-to-back coming up after South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, that'll be tough.
Even Ben Howland's Mississippi State Bulldogs were undefeated for a while this season.
They really played really quality people. They really had a really eye for a cupcake kind of season.
Chioza backs in, comes up short. Good effort by Stone tracking it down. It's going to stay Florida basketball. That was a hustle play.
Real hustle play right there. But Vandy has come out here with a little different attack. Their dribble penetration, attacking the rim. Bryce Drew, what a great family. Talk about basketball family. His brother Donna Taylor, his dad Homer, who orchestrated that incredible win against Mississippi when he made that unbelievable shot.
Let's take a look at this replay. Keith Stone stepped out of bounds. That's reminiscent of last night in the NBA, with Giannis Antetokounmpo stepping on the end line and winning the game for the Milwaukee Bucks when it really shouldn't have been.
Right. Beat Billy Donovan's Oklahoma City team, who had been playing well after a real slow start.
Former Gator suffers in the NBA from that kind of call. His old team, the Florida Gators, benefit this time around.
Hey, Billy, what a job here when they won those back-to-back national titles. We're talking basketball. We're not talking football. We're talking basketball. Reminds me of Allen Iverson. We're talking practice. We're talking practice.
Well, Mike White has got his team back in that practice mode of playing hard on both ends of the floor, and it's showing itself today. A 42-26 lead in the SEC opener against Vanderbilt. Nice jump hook by Hayes.
Well, Hayes got a touch inside. Mike told us before the game we're going to try to bring the ball inside a little bit more. Something they got to do. Got to go a little more inside, outside.
Gators defense has done a wonderful job on the top scorers for Vanderbilt. Jeff Roberson, the leading scorer for the Doors, goes to the line, and he'll shoot 2, but held to just 5 points so far in this contest.
You know, Roberson last year in the wins against Florida, he came up big with big plays. Mike White told me every crucial situation, he made a big play.
Jalen Hudson set to come back on for Mike White's Gators.
I love Nashville. Nashville, a great city. Man, you can't like Nashville is something wrong. That's why you're getting out of attractive recruits. Whittling at Garland, Chateau down there. Unbelievable. They're going to love those kids.
Marius Hayes goes to the bench, Dick, with 3 fouls. That's going to be a little bit of an issue in the second half with only 3 minutes gone by and them thinned by injuries in the front court already.
Well, because they have no size to come off the bench with. They get the all Johnson & Johnson team sitting on the sideline.
Kulachov. No. Stone. Great effort underneath by Keith Stone, but he comes up empty. And Stone again, right place, right time. Well, we talked already about these Vanderbilt recruits. Here's a look at what Hall, Bryce Drew has brought in. Chateau, Garland, And then look at John Jenkins and Dejon Parker. You have to go all the way back to 2009 and 11 before you get some high-rated elite recruits like they're bringing in next year.
Yeah, it's a terrific class. If they can sort of survive this year, there'll be a lot of excitement in Commodore basketball with those new guys coming in. And if you ever get lucky and get Romeo Langford, who right now looks like Kansas or Indiana, I personally think Indiana's going to be the team to beat.
Here's Hudson, fouled on the three. That's the second time that's happened for the Gators today.
You got to go straight up on that block. You can't go lunging into the offensive player. You're not going to get away with that. Here, take a look right here. He steps out, and there's the contact. 3 opportunities.
So Jalen Hudson at the line. Just to put a bow on that Darius Garland recruiting story, he's originally from Indiana, where Bryce Drew coached at Valpo. The first basketball camp he ever went to was Bryce Drew's basketball camp. They kept the relationship up. His family actually moved to Tennessee before Bryce took the Vanderbilt job. And as luck would have it, he finds himself in the Volunteer State along with Darius Garland, and it was a match made in heaven.
His father was one heck of a player. Winston Garland, solid point guard for years in the NBA.
Now Roberson might have some blood on his arm. And Tony Green signals him to go over to the training staff and get that attended to, as Jalen Hudson is in the midst of 3 free throws.
Tell you one thing we find out right now, we find out who the pretenders are, and we find out who the legit contenders are. Because there have been a lot of teams that have really got gaudy records against a lot of cupcakes.
Well, here's a reminder that Tuesday night, our first Super Tuesday of the basketball season, starts at 9 Eastern. Number 22, Texas Tech, taking on 11th ranked Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. The Jayhawks have never lost to the Red Raiders since the creation of the Big 12 back in 1997. That's 18 straight wins, but this is a much different Texas Tech team, Dick.
Yeah, very good Texas Tech team. Kansas relying really on their perimeter play. They really are not strong on the interior. They got a couple of players they're hoping to get on the lineup, get eligible. Nice defensive effort right there. Allen with an excellent play.
Kulichov off the mark. Lee, the foul before the shot. And we have a timeout on the floor. 15:56 to go. The Gators led by 20 at the break. They're up 45-29. Always a pleasure to be joined by a Hall of Famer on the court, off the court, and broadcasting. But your greatest work is done away from the basketball court, raising dollars for cancer research.
Well, I got to thank all the people out there. We need your help. We sold out the first 1,500 on a brand new red convertible, as you can see. And we have another one that's coming up, a red convertible. And we only have 700 more chances left on the second one. It'll be sold out in about 3 weeks. Got my big gala. I know you'll be coming probably this year. It's unbelievable. May 11th, we'll be honoring Jim Harbaugh, Michigan, Mike Greenberg, and Mr. Leonard Hamilton, who lost a tough game today to Duke, 100-93. Hey, you can get your chance on a red convertible. Help kids battling cancer. Just go to dickvitaleonline.com. And I suggest you do it now, because we will sell that out like we sold the first one out on the first court. Only 1,500 chances. Go to dickvitaleonline.com and let's help kids battling that disease. So far, my gala has raised $21 million, but it's not enough.
Amazing. And just from the Every Dollar Counts department, I know you've met my family. My youngest son, Brian, raised money, some buckets for Brian last year. This year, a good friend of our family, Hayden McCain, spent the entire year making 10,000 shots and raised $5,000 that he's going to give to you in person sometime.
Wow.
There's another three-pointer as Vanderbilt tries to climb back in this contest.
Well, they're back on down 11 right now. I mean, they're down 11.
And Mike White wants to talk it over, try to stem the tide of the growing momentum for the Vanderbilt Commodores.
What I like about Vandy, no quitting them.
Along with the Hall of Famer Dick Vitale, Rich Hollenberg from Gainesville, and the Gators are getting their 20-point lead cut into with Jeff Roberson's 8 points in the second half.
Well, Roberson, a veteran player, a double-double machine. doing a really good job. I like the way they've come out here, playing a much more aggressive offensive style, sharing the ball. Roberson and I believe Fisher Davis has to step up as veteran players. And you look at Florida now, they're going to get back to their defensive effort they executed earlier in this game when they held them at 20 points at halftime. 7-1 run right now.
Yeah. Some very coachable points. You saw Bryce Drew clearly in the locker room said, we don't just have to take three-pointers. Let's get some drives to the bucket. That'll open up the outside shooting. That's exactly what's happened. And immediately out of that timeout, Mike White probably told his team the same thing.
Got a lot of good things happen if you attack the rim. Mike White told us before the game, we want to attack more to get more free throw opportunities. Not going to the line enough.
Specifically, number 5, who's at the line right now, Kayvon Allen.
Hey, I want to sing the praises today of 2 diaper dandies. They're unbelievable. They're not only great diaper dandies, they're the best in the nation at what they do. Trae Young today, you ready for this? In a 1-point win on the road against an unbeaten team, had 39 points and 14 assists. He accounted for 67 of Oklahoma's points. In a tough game with Florida State, Duke wins. Mr. Bagley, 32 and 21 rebounds. They're the best big man and best perimeter players in the nation. Put all classes.
There's a foul on the floor. And since you mentioned Trae Young, an interesting piece of trivia here with Baker Mayfield set to play in the college football playoff, already the Heisman Trophy winner, right? I would say Trae Young is definitely in the top 3 for Wooden Award Player of the Year. Only one time has that happened at one school in the same year, where the Wooden Award and the Heisman Trophy resided at the same university. And wouldn't you know it, Dick? It's at Oklahoma. Back in 2008, 2009, Blake Griffin won the Wooden Award, and Sam Bradford won the Heisman Trophy. And Oklahoma could do it again this year.
I learned something here. Thanks a lot, Rich. You're an encyclopedia.
Saving lead with the tape.
Great try. He has got explosiveness. His father was one heck of a running back. Amp Lee with the Florida State Noles. By the way, Willie Taggart's going to do a great job. They don't want to hear that here at the Gators. He's going to do a great job with the Noles.
Kulachov with the bucket.
Kulachov with a big basket right there. They got this game. They had it in single digits after being down 20 at halftime.
Felt like it's been an eon since the Gators had scored before that.
They went to the zone defense right there. You would think it'd be tough to zone Vandy the way they shoot from the perimeter and the way they pass the basketball. But they went to the zone in that sequence.
There's Stone working on Roberson. Nice take inside by Keith Stone.
He told us again, we're going to repeat it. He said we want to get some touches to Stone and some touches to Hayes to get a little bit on the inside. Good timeout right there by Bryce. Mike White, by the way, was on the floor with Ole Miss when he made that dramatic shot, Bryce. Mike said, I don't want to talk about it anymore in the NCAA tournament with Valpo.
We're back at 30 seconds. Dickie V, we went to break with you talking about that 1998 miraculous shot by Bryce Drew in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Some people might forget that Mike White played point guard for that Ole Miss team that got upset that day. He said, everyone asks me about it, especially now that Bryce Drew is coaching in the same league I am. He said he doesn't mind talking about it. Every time he talks to Bryce Drew, he says, I have so much respect for you. I hate you, but I have so much respect for you. Of course, he said that tongue-in-cheek.
Right.
Big mutual admiration society between these head coaches.
He hated him for that moment. He made that shot.
Blocked again. It's been a block party for the Gators defense today.
Well, they normally do block shots. That's one area they're really strong in.
8 blocks today for the Gators, averaging 4.3 blocks per game coming in.
It's amazing the injuries they've had to face this year, really. It's depleted their whole front court.
Fisher Davis, short on the 3. Roberson tried for the rebound and went out of bounds, and they're going to say it's Vanderbilt basketball.
Fisher Davis got to start making some shots.
Mike White can't believe it. I don't think anybody inside the Exact Tech Arena can believe it.
This place is really beautiful the way they renovated it. Great college environment.
Another 3 attempt comes up short for the Commodores. 6 for 15 from beyond the arc for Bryce Drew's Vanderbilt Commodores today.
You know, to some clubs, that's pretty good shooting. Not really for them, because they need the 3-ball so badly.
Riley LaChance checks back in with 13:10 to go. And LaChance has been saddled on the bench with 4 fouls.
And they can't hear me in Clemson, right? They can't hear me?
No.
Alabama's going to win that football game. They can't hear me down there. I know they can't hear me down there. So I will say, Alabama, Tuscaloosa will party big time.
I don't know how happy the Gator faithful are hearing that kind of prediction.
Well, the Gators right now sitting home in football. They're going to get some recruits.
Here's LaChance. Vanderbilt has the veterans to come back. And that's one of them, Matthew Fisher-Davis.
We said Fisher-Davis got to start making that 3-ball. He's capable.
He has spurt ability, does Matthew Fisher-Davis. Went off for 31 earlier this year against USC.
I love that spurt ability. Clark Kellogg, my man. Spurt ability.
Matthew Fisher-Davis, the 3rd leading active scorer in the SEC.
When you got a name, Fisher-Davis, it just equates to stardom. It really does. It's got that perfect name for headlines.
That 3-pointer that Fisher-Davis hit was his 26th of the year.
Take a look right there. Field goals in the first half, second half. There's a difference maker right there. 8 for 13 versus 28%. 28% is what I would shoot.
Allen at the line, knocks down the first. He has 13 on the game.
Had a real good, strong first half, but a little quiet here in the second half.
10 points in the first. No field goals in the second half. All 4 of his second half points have come at the free throw line.
Nice stroke right there on that line.
Well, we thought it was going to be a close game coming in. The Gators led by 20 at the break, but the lead is just 12 for Florida now with 12:20 to go.
They had it down to 9. They're zoning. No, back zoning. Yep, they're zoning. Let them be active.
And Fisher-Davis again starting to heat up.
Well, he got right in the gap of seam in that zone. He been a Mack truck in that seam, and he just attacked it. So he didn't miss him in the post. He was wide open. You got to get the ball in the post once in a while. Go a little inside, outside.
Size mismatch with Kulichov, and he takes advantage of it over Riley LaChance.
He's got a real nice touch. They missed the kid Barry from last year big time. He was a great guy off the bench for them.
And another grad transfer.
Yep. His father was a pretty good player by the name of Mr. Rick Barry.
He knew how to shoot.
Absolutely. He's a competitor, too.
LaChance splits the zone with the left hand and a chance at a 3-point play.
Well, LaChance with the great drive to the goal. Normally, he's just shooting a stationary jump shot. They're really attacking that rim. Take a look right here, a little Gator chop time. Mr. Kulishov gonna back you down and then step back with that little jump shot, fadeaway J.
All right, we got a game.
Chris Cotter in studio. Villanova, #1 team in the country, trailing big to Butler at Hinkle. Nice passing leads to a Nate Fowler bucket. It's a 17-point lead right now for Butler. Miami also up 17 over Pitt, so no issues for the Hurricanes. Rich, Dick?
Shocked. I am shocked. You're saying Villanova's getting beat. I just did a commentary and said the one team out of the 3 unbeaten teams will go unbeaten for the month of January. Man, I'll tell you one thing. Oh, Dickie V, the VBI went to sleep on that baby.
Oh, my goodness.
Butler's good, but there's no way you would expect them to be that plus 17 on that Villanova team. College basketball.
You gotta love it.
Nothing like league competition. Getting rid of all the cupcakes. I'm in a dancing mood. I gotta find some cheerleaders to dance. I'm getting bored. I gotta dance.
Well, the
man.
game's just about to get exciting. It was a 20-point lead. Now it's down to 10.
I know.
Both teams having to keep an eye on their foul situation. Riley LaChance has 4 fouls. Keith Stone has 4 fouls. So does Kavarius Hayes for Mike White's Gators.
Single digits now. Got it down to 9 after the 20-point deficit at halftime. Both clubs have gone to zone defenses.
Kulichov, no. Weak side rebound to Fisher-Davis.
Fisher Davis doing a nice little job rebounding the ball for them.
11 minutes to go. A three-pointer makes it a two-possession ball game.
The kid Toy has really been invisible today. 20 minutes, no points, 0 for 4, and 1 rebound.
A chance off the curl. The one more in the corner. And it's too strong. Big offensive rebound by Roberson.
I'll tell you, Roberson's a player.
LeChance got fouled and will go to the line.
Momentum has definitely swung. Bryce Drew has been so active and animated on that bench right from the initial outcome. Even though they were down 9-0, he's just been battling on its sideline. Oh, wow.
And Roberson just went right into the back. That was an 11-on-11 crime right there. Number 11, Roberson, on number 11, Chiozza.
That Roberson a player, though, man. He's a gamer. He's what we call a gamer.
An undersized double-double machine. 6 double-doubles this year, and a big offensive rebound that led to those 2 free throws, and also led to Kavarius Hayes going to the bench with 4 fouls for the Gators.
Yep, LeChance right there with the 2. His dad was a coach. Kulishov wanting the ball at crunch time. He's taking the ball whenever they need a basket to stop the momentum of Vandy. He comes up big, wants the ball.
Kulichov started off his Gators career earlier this year. Of course, he's a grad student, transferred from Rice and came over here. Started off with a 34-point effort against Gardner-Webb, where he went 6 for 9 from 3, but he's gone into a little bit of a slump. His last 8 games coming in, just 7 for 38 from beyond the arc.
A lot of times, really, when you look at guys' stats, you got to take away the fact that many times they got to know what a good shot is. So if you're making bad shots and you're being challenged, your percentage is going to go down. You got to take good open looks.
One thing he almost never does is miss free throws. He's now 32 for 33 from the free throw line this season. Fisher Davis fires short, and Kulichov gets the rebound.
See, now he's a good shooter, but that was not a good shot. He was challenged, caught the ball, 1 pass, shot it up. No patience. You got to have patience, poise, and leads to points, the 3 Ps.
Chiozza hangs and hits.
He's amazing how he can seal the defense off with his body. He protects the ball so well, and he's an attacker. He was raves today from Mike White about his performance thus far this year.
Lee, nice take to the hoop, and the Vanderbilt Commodores are having their way going to the basket against the Gators.
They really are. First half, they did not. First half, Florida really cut it off and were blocking shots. Right now, the second half, they're attacking, getting layups.
2 teams that make their hay shooting from beyond the arc are both being extremely aggressive on the offensive ends, taking it to the hoop.
He walked right there. He missed the walk. Nice little ball fake. Again,
another pretty bucket.
Again, watch how he creates the opportunity by utilizing his body so efficiently.
Chiozza has 11. The lead is 11 for the Gators.
Chiozza really making big plays. Veteran player.
Lee lost the handle. It's a foul on the Gators.
Take a look at Chiozza right here, a little shake and bake. See now, look at him protect the ball. He protects the ball exceptionally well by utilizing his body. And now watch this one, same thing. Protects the ball again. I mean, he's acrobatic the way he scores. Mike White loves it. One point guard talking to another point guard. Mike was a solid point guard for Mississippi. I remember doing a game he played in where they upset Kentucky.
And the freshman Saban Lee calmly knocks down both free throws, giving him 13 for the contest, and it's back to a single-digit lead for the Gators.
No football for him. He went the route of basketball. Daddy played in the NFL.
Chiozza. Couple of big steps and he gets the bucket.
Serious? Come on now. He can't be serious making that shot. Oh, wow. That's circus time. That's Ringling, Barnum, and Bailey. Oh, wait, they don't exist anymore, do they? I don't think they have a circus anymore.
3 straight buckets for Chris Chiozza. 8 minutes to go. Roberson blocked by Stone.
Wow. Oh, I can't believe that shot. Chiozza, what are you doing, Chiozza? A little showtime. Look at this acrobatic shot. SEC, baby.
Do you mind if we dance with your dates?
Hey.
Disco Dick in action in Gainesville.
A little celebration time before New Year's. I got to get ready, man. A little celebration, a little dance out there. I'm going to dance a big time at the Rosen. You ready for this? It's a great place to stay. I'm telling you, Rosen Shingle Creek up in Orlando.
I'm going to look it up.
Great general manager there, Mr. Giordano. Notre Dame staying there. All the fans, I'll be there partying big time. Let's go Irish. Got to beat LSU. I know it's SC. 7 degrees of my family from Notre Dame. 8 if you count me, because I got an honorary degree. So that's 8. That's why we cheer for the Irish.
Here's Roberson inside. Great out of the timeout call by Bryce Drew.
Utilizing Roberson very effectively. Get him right into the paint area. You got all kinds of foul trouble. Florida on the front court.
Both teams have hit 7 3-pointers, but more impressively, both teams 20-plus points in the paint.
You don't want to foul that guy. He's missed 1 foul shot all year.
Kulichov's automatic from the stripe. Tonight after the Capital One Orange Bowl on ESPN, stick around for SportsCenter with SVP. Scott breaks down Steph Curry's performance if he returns for the Warriors, plus an update on Baker Mayfield's health and the best fake SVPs of 2017.
Hey, what about the situation with Baker Mayfield? Physically, what's going on?
Didn't appear at Media Day. A young man who certainly doesn't shy away from media attention.
I'll tell you one thing, they mentioned Steph coming back. We got Steph in college basketball.
Absolutely.
Just go to Norman, Oklahoma, and you will see Mr. Steph Curry. Trae Young is the real deal. He is unbelievable. I can't get over 39 and 14 today. That means he accounted for 67 points in a 1-point win on the road against an unbeaten team. Now that is a solid goal, PT pair. Just like Bagley was today with 21 rebounds and 32 points, Duke beating a good Florida State team.
Joe Toye fouled out for the Commodores. And if free throws become a deciding factor in this contest, both teams shoot it well collectively from the line. UF second in the SEC at 76%. Vanderbilt 74% from the stripe.
Tell you one thing, Rich, they have recognized Vandy a big opening in that 3-second area, and they pounded it in that area.
Both teams are, when you think about it. They've forsaken the 3, which is their natural inclination, if you will. And Roberson misses the front end of a 1-and-1.
Well, you jinxed them talking about how efficient they are in the free throw line.
Roberson with 13, 10 of them coming in the second half. It's an 11-point Gators lead.
A lot of good things happen when that ball's in their hands of Chiozza. Man-to-man, they're having a tough time staying in front of this guy. Oh, he had the right idea, but the defense did an outstanding job stepping in the passing lane.
Here's LaChance. Deep 3, no good. Tap back by Fisher Davis. And Roberson will try.
I think they're shooting the 3 too quickly. Too quickly. Not getting within the rhythm of the offense, getting ball movement. Joe's a veteran player, experienced. He totally sees my team. You know, last year Casey Hill there as well.
Florida's trying to snap a 5-game losing streak to the Commodores. They led by 20 at the break. They're up 11 now with counting down to 6 minutes to go. Here's Saban Lee. No whistle, rebound by Kulichov.
Out of control right there. Mike White trying to get his first win. The only team he hasn't beaten since coaching has been Vanderbilt.
DeAndre Ballard 3 has extended the Gators lead to 68-54, and Bryce Drew wants to talk it over. Mike White has to like the effort and the bounce back from his team.
Well, you know, Ballard hits that big three. That's how you get playing time. He doesn't get as much, but that'll get you some playing time. 14 now becomes really desperate time for Vandy.
Well, Chris Chiozza made a name for himself in the annals of Florida history with that game-winning three in the NCAA tournament last year, but he's having a terrific senior campaign.
Well, his driving ability is unreal. I'm impressed the way he protects the basketball as he attacks the rim. Now, this is another one of those acrobatic plays.
They call him Cheese here in Gainesville. Chris Chiozza, the 6-foot senior out of Memphis, averaging just under 13 a game, has 13 today. And he's the only player to average more than 12 points, more than 5 assists, and more than 4 rebounds a game.
Plays hard. What I like about him, he plays with passion and feeling. That's what existed yesterday with Kentucky. Played with such passion, such feeling. They were really so into it. They're my team of the week thus far. I do at the end of the week, I pick the team of the week. They were a gem. What they did to Louisville, because Louisville's got a talented basketball team, 90-61, embarrassed them.
Who do you think is the biggest challenge to Kentucky in the SEC this year?
Texas A&M.
You think so?
I think Texas A&M, especially at home, can be really tough. But I think, you know, top to bottom, Arkansas is coming on big. They got veteran guards. Today we talked about the great performance of Trey Young. But you look at Barford today, he was terrific.
Yeah, Jalen Barford at 28.
And Macon at 30,
Daryl Macon at 33. And I know we both like that Tennessee team.
Oh, you gotta like Tennessee. I think there's so much balance. I don't know yet. Nobody's talking Auburn. Auburn and Bruce Pearlsky, they're beating everybody.
Auburn got a win against Cornell today. They face Tennessee in Knoxville on Tuesday night. That game will be on ESPNU. And it rattles around and goes down for Fisher Davis.
Playing a great backspin on that ball. That backspin helped them big time. They got to come up with stops now.
Coming up on 5 minutes to go. 5:29 left. SEC opener for both of these clubs.
You're Florida now. You get the winning time. Good shots will take you to the winner's circle. You spread the court. Try to get Kuleshov on that foul line.
Chiozza got stuck under the basket on that drive.
Now you got to create an opportunity here after that.
Inside Roberson, an easy bucket. He has 15.
5 quick points.
And it's back to single digits, 68-59.
You got to be careful, Florida. Try to slow it down a little bit. You want to play within your rhythm. You don't want to foul this guy. See, as a team on the floor, you got to know each player's strengths and weaknesses. I mean, this guy's like automatic at the free throw line. He's missed one all season. So if you're Vandy, you want to stay away from any chance to put him on the free throw line.
Kuleshov 4 for 4 from the stripe, and it bears mentioning now that it's a single-digit game. These two teams played 3 times last year, twice in the regular season, once in the SEC tournament, and all 3 games were close. The 2 regular season games decided by 2 points apiece, and the SEC tournament game went to overtime. All 3 in favor of the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Vanderbilt got better and better as the year progressed. 15 losses, yet they made the tournament as an at-large selection. That's the most losses ever for a team to get in as an at-large. Every possession now is gold to Vandy.
Fisher Davis inside the three-point line.
He has stepped up big here in the second half.
All 14 of his points have come in the second half.
Yeah, he really has responded. Now can they respond defensively? Can't trade points. Picked up his dribble. That's a no-no.
Here's Hayes in foul trouble, but we're coming up on 4 minutes to go. You need your best players on the floor.
They double him up on the post.
Trapped in the corner. And the Gators get a timeout. 1 timeout remaining for Mike White and the Gators as they hold on to a 9-point lead with 4:12 to go. Will it be another nail-biter between the Doors and the Gators?
Chris Cotter in studio. Duke had to come to play today earlier at Cameron against Florida State. The game was tied at 93 late before Duke went on a 7-0 run to finish things off. Here's Wendell Carter with the dunk. So the Blue Devils avoid an 0-2 start in ACC play. Coming up next, another SEC matchup. Tyler Davis and Texas A&M on the road, taking on a really good Alabama team. And Colin Sexton, they'll tip in about 16 minutes. Rich, Dick?
Thank you very much, Chris. That Tyler Davis-led A&M team, as Dick mentioned earlier, one of the challengers to Kentucky's SEC crown, and a very good SEC this year. And Dick, you look at the AP top 10, the unbeatens are just disappearing.
And Villanova, unbelievable today.
With 2 on the shot clock, an air ball. Here comes Riley LeChance. Roberson left alone for 3. Baptiste. Oh no, that's Brown. And Cleavon Brown got a fresh shot clock for the Commodores. But Kulichev takes it away.
Silly play right here. Foul him 80 feet from the goal. It's just like giving Florida a deuce.
Florida valuing the basketball. You said every possession is gold. Dick, they've only committed 5 turnovers this afternoon.
Well, you protect the basketball, get good shots, you're going to have a chance to win.
Igor Kulichev on the line, 3rd in the nation in free throw percentage. Came into today 30 for 31, and now he's 7 for 7 this afternoon.
Yeah, Mike White, we like seeing him on the free throw line. Vandy fouls him 80 feet from the basket. I mean, you got to know this kid can make free throws. I'm sure Bryce talked to him about that before the game, saying, he's the one guy we don't want to put on the line. It's Kulichev.
As a team, the Gators are 20 for 22 today from the stripe.
Wow, what a difference maker that is.
A pull-up 3 goes for Peyton Willis, his 3rd triple of the day.
He's come off the bench and helped them with that 3 ball.
And all of a sudden, don't look now, an 8-point game.
Barr trying to get some good spacing here.
Chiozza, tough shot, got fouled, and Chris Chiozza will go to the line and shoot 2.
You know, Mike told us we want more drives to the basket. We want to create free throw opportunities, and they're doing that here this afternoon.
Chris Chiozza has really shouldered more of a scoring load. He's a terrific assist man, a great true point guard, but he's now 5 straight games in double-digit points. Today he has 13, make it 14.
Is that free throw line again? Wow, they've only missed 2 as a team thus far.
21 for 23.
That'll get you to winner's circle.
Well, the amount of makes is terrific. I think the amount of free throw attempts is also going to put a smile on Mike White's face.
The biggest smile will be if he leaves here with a W.
That's right, 1-0 in SEC play.
Something he has not been able to do against Vanderbilt in his career.
Under 3 minutes to go. Rich Hollenberg, Dick Vitale. From Gainesville, Florida, where the Commodores are looking to mount an epic comeback. Roberson, another 3. He has 18.
They're trading 2 for 3. They got it down to 7 now. It was 9, it was 8, now it's 7.
The Commodores have never led in this game.
They haven't gotten it under 7 for a long, long time. I want to foul him. You know what? He wants to get fouled.
Kulichev, tough shot. And here come the Commodores.
That was good defensive effort by Vandy. They need a score in this possession.
They've got the shooters, they've got the veterans. And here's one of them, Riley LeChance. He fires and can't hit, but an offensive rebound by Cleavon Brown. And a fresh 30 with 2 minutes to go.
Nice rebound by Brown. And they're going to take advantage of their opportunity. Get his 2nd shot. There's a chance. He got tripped. He got tripped.
And Vlad Voyad called exactly that.
Refs have done a solid job here this afternoon. Tony Henderson, Tony Green, Vlad Voyad.
Well, Vandy shooting 41% from the field coming in. That's a low number for a good shooting team, but in the second half today, they have upped those numbers tremendously. 53% against a spirited Gators defense.
You know, a lot of teams on the road, you're down by 20, you're really struggling. they would have folded. This team didn't fold.
A big three by LeChance.
LeChance squares up, second opportunity. We had a 4-point game, man. They were down 20 at halftime. But there's been no quit at all from the coaching staff to the players for Vanderbilt.
This is the closest they've been since 9.5 minutes into the first half. Stone takes it strong, comes up empty. Chance to make it a one-possession ball game with 1:15 to go.
Patience.
And they rush the three, and it's one and done for Vanderbilt.
Had that opportunity, had that chance. Fisher Davis, a guy you don't mind shooting the basketball. I personally thought he shot it too quickly. And taking the clock, managing time. He's a veteran player. It's great having a guy who's a veteran, understands, but through battles at your point guard slot like Chiozza.
5 on the shot clock. Chiozza!
What a terrific driver he is. He really attacks that rim. Big play. What a big play.
And a foul called on Kayvon Allen.
Kayvon's really been quiet in the second half. Really quiet.
Allen had 10 points in the first and only 4 free throws in the second.
You know, the free throw line and Chiozza's driving ability has been a difference maker in this game. Tremendous drives, one after another here tonight, this afternoon.
Peyton Willis will step to the line, a 6'4" sophomore out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. Calmly knocks down the first to give him 10.
They're happy down in Fayetteville today with that win they had. Barford and Bacon made sure Mike Anderson's club didn't lose in that overtime. Sensational game with a very good Tennessee team.
Peyton Willis a chance to make it a 4-point game. In and out.
Florida right now, to dribble out that clock, they got to be able to get, now you got a foul.
And Allen will go to the line.
He's a good free throw shooter as well.
88% this season. He's 4 for 4 from the stripe today.
Free throw line has been gold for the Gators here this afternoon.
Kulichov at 97%, Chiozza 89, and Allen 88. And those are that's the guys who have the ball in their hands.
Well, that's why they're most likely going to get the W and leave here. I mean, unless you got a miracle happening here by Vandy, they're going to get the W because of that charity strike.
Florida on the cusp of snapping a 5-game losing streak to the Vanderbilt Commodores. Mike White has never beaten Vanderbilt in his 3rd season now in Gainesville.
He's tired of hearing about that, too. He doesn't want to hear that anymore. I think it's going to go bye-bye after this afternoon. The Gators here, SEC opening game. You don't want to foul here. Don't want to foul.
Fisher Davis, short.
It's over, baby. It's over.
And they foul Hayes, and Kavarius Hayes will go to the line and shoot.
Put this one in the books. Put this one in the books. Arizona State tonight, by the way, with Arizona. That's going to be one matchup. You got Arizona State really under Bob Hurley Jr. Terrific.
Coming up after us, Alabama hosting Texas A&M, another terrific SEC contest. These Vanderbilt Commodores, Dick, will be taking on Alabama on January 2nd. That's coming up this Tuesday.
Tell you one thing, the SEC may have 7 to 8 teams getting in the tournament this year. Tuesday night, I have a real game, good game. I'm excited for Wednesday, actually. Wednesday, got a great game. North Carolina at Florida State.
Florida State just put up 93 points, albeit in a loss against Duke.
Yeah, you can't give up 100 and win.
Hayes goes 1 for 2. It's an 8-point game with 18 seconds left.
Well, if you got an 8-point magical play, you got to scoop. You got to scoop, Rich.
Fisher Davis again. Got it this time.
Timeout. One guy that used to pull the magic in these kind of situations was the late, great Dean Smith.
With the timeout on the floor, let's check in the studio with Chris Cotter.
All right, Rich and Dick coming up next. Colin Sexton, fun to watch. 20 points a game. He and Alabama taking on Texas A&M. They're going to tip in Tuscaloosa in just over 6 minutes, guys. We'll see you in a bit.
All right, Chris, here's the game situation right now. Vanderbilt out of timeouts. Florida has one remaining. Both teams in the double bonus, and possession arrow with the Gators. And as you said, Dick, it'd take a minor miracle for Vanderbilt to come back, but they have a 5-game winning streak against these Gators. The mojo is on the side of the Commodores, but it's going to be a tall task at this point.
Well, the clock's not on our side. Yeah, I think you're wrong. Minor, major, miracle, they need a major miracle.
Well, Bryce Drew knows about miracles going back to 1998 when he was a player for Valpo and they beat Ole Miss, a team that Mike White played on. And Mike White uses his final timeout.
Another match moment might be down to Butler. Butler's up 9 with about 2 minutes left against Villanova.
Well, if Villanova loses, they fall from the ranks of the unbeaten. Chances are there's going to be a new #1 in college basketball.
State.
You think Michigan State takes that mantle?
To me, is the best team in the country. I said it even while Villanova was #1. Michigan State is absolutely sensational.
Now, you've been doing this as long as anybody. You're a Hall of Famer for a reason. In my humble opinion, I've worked at ESPN for 10 years calling college basketball games. I can't remember a non-conference that was as entertaining with as many good big-time matchups as we've seen this season.
Well, there were really a lot of matchups. My argument is I think college basketball should start after Thanksgiving. I really do. I think we lose so many games because people are caught up with who's going to win the Heisman, who's going to make the 4 teams in terms of the NCAA championship in football. And I think it's so dominant then. I think we'd be better off if we started basketball a little bit later after Thanksgiving.
Does March Madness then become April Madness?
Well, it's April now anyway. The final game is in April.
That's true.
What are you playing, Scrooge on me? Playing Scrooge on me? Come on.
Hey, more basketball. All I vote for is more college basketball. That's what I'd love to see.
You like those gigs, baby. So you want that check to go ding-a-ling-ding.
Well, Igor Kulichov with 20 points today, perfect from the free throw line. And if the Gators could get the ball in his hands, he could salt this game away. You have to assume that that's one of the strategies out of this timeout for Mike White.
Yeah, get the ball in his hands and go 10 for 10, become a perfect Bo Derek.
They get it to Kulichov, and he's fouled immediately.
Unbelievable. That was scripted perfectly by Mike White. Tell you one thing, the White family's class is going to be his brother, by the way, is the AD down in Central Florida.
Igor Kulichov, 6'5", grad student out of Rice. Started his career, was going to go to Tennessee, was going to be an SEC player. But then when they made the coaching changes, decided to go to Rice instead, and now spending his final year of college eligibility with Mike White and the Gators, and he is a major contributor.
Tell you one thing, he's like automatic at the free throw line. Great stroke, great backspin, 10 for 10.
The Florida Gators are going to snap a 5-game losing streak to the Vanderbilt Commodores, and Mike White finally has a win against Vandy as the head coach of UF. The Gators improved to 9-4 on the season, but more importantly, 1-0 in SEC play. They get the victory, 81-74 over Vanderbilt. For Dick Vitale, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Now we go to the studio.